What is going on, guys? It is Joe back again talking about the Kansas State Wildcats. And before we get into things specifically, let me say I'm in a different location. This is my third time trying to record the video. My words are not where they should be tonight, so I apologize. But we've got some good things to talk about today. K-State takes down Wichita State 69-60 in the Wildcat Classic down at the T-Mobile Center. There in Kansas City, we were actually able to go in person for this, so it was cool to get out there and support the team. I have a couple different takeaways from tonight's game, but man, we're going to talk about all that and more here in a sec. I have a lot of different takeaways from this game and some different things to keep an eye on. We'll talk about specifics, we'll talk about specific players and stat sheets and everything like that here in a minute. Let me tell you before we do get into it, quick reminder to subscribe if you're a real one. If you like K-State sports, this is the place to be. And second thing, the holiday season's here. There's a lot of great things going on. Be the guy that gets your friend beer this holiday season. Be the guy that shows up at your boy's house with a pack of beer, a case of beer for him, and get that gift from Manhattan Brewing Company. They've got the best beer in America, in the world, and anywhere you imagine. Any type of select area, they've got the best beer. Compared against anybody, it is top tier. Tonight's K-State win called for a Tang party for myself, so it was an awesome thing to get to see that, not only in person, but get home and celebrate with some Manhattan Brewing Company beer. They've got a lot of great things, as well as recently they paired Pop-Tarts for the Pop-Tarts Bowl with different alcohols alongside 1012 Podcast, so check that out and a lot of stuff. They got some great content, they got some great people over there, and more importantly, great product. They got great stuff to check out. So like I said, celebrate by drinking some ice cold beer this holiday season. Let's talk about specifics about Kansas State. Let me get into the box score here. Should have had the box score pulled up sooner, but I got it and we are good to go. Kansas State wins 69-60. Arthur Kaluma with 11, 6, and 1. David Gasson with 13 and 9. 13 points, 9 rebounds. In 34 minutes played, Will McNair was 7 and 7. Cam Carter with a pretty Cam Carter type game, 15, 5, and 5. Tyler Perry was 17, 5, and 3. 5 being the assists, 3 being rebounds. And then you get the combination of Day-Day Ames, Dorian Finister, and Michaela Rich. Michaela Rich, most statistical points of those three, ended up with 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist in the game, as well as added a ton of energy. I really liked what I saw to Michaela Rich. We'll talk about that and more here in a second. But the first thing that needs addressing from this game, David Gasson took a step forward. He did. And I got to say, I mean, I don't speak for everybody. I don't speak for anybody. I just speak for myself. But there's a lot of that, the writing on the wall of, all right, David Gasson regressed. David Gasson's not who he was, blah, blah, blah. Can't be on the court if he's shooting free throws like this. Can't do this. He went and worked. Instead of just jumping into the criticism, being like, damn, it sucks, man. He went to the gym and worked. There's a quote post-game from my guy Ryan Gilbert, shout out Ryan and go Powercat, that said David Gasson got in the gym. He made 300 free throws to improve and get to the point. Like, I don't know about you guys, and I know that practice makes perfect, but that's a quick turnaround. I mean, the guy went 3 of 4 from the field, 4 or 5 from for the free throw line in the contest, converted a couple of different and ones, and just had a different level of aggression. You got to commend him. The effort was there, the heart was there, the hustle was there. He's still, 0 factor from 3. That happens. But the important thing about David Gasson is not being timid, not being shy, and going into attack mode. I mean, I know there's people out there that are like, he shouldn't be on the court if he can't shoot free throws. He shouldn't be on the court if he's not aggressive. He was actually the edge that K-State needed to beat Wichita State in this game. 13 points, 9 rebounds. We know he's a beast on the glass. We know he can feast in the rebound department, but he did some really great things with the offense and attacked at the right moments. Converted a couple of different and ones, as well as hit some free throws in the line. It wasn't a 0 of 6 performance once again. So David Gasson, got to commend him for the effort there. It was really exciting to see him have a bounce-back game. The next guy we're going to talk about on this list, Michaela Rich, dude. Buddy Rich he's exciting. He's an exciting player to watch. It's an NBA dude. Every time I look at him, like, this dude has such a bright future ahead of him. The guy is massive. He's physical. He's an effort guy. He's a glue guy. Like, any cliche you need to toss out there about, like, he's the glue that holds this team together. He's that guy. That is Buddy Rich. When the team needs a spark plug, they need excitement, go to Buddy Rich, dude. You have a true freshman kid that's 6'7", 240, sitting on the bench, walking out there looking like, a Greek god of some sort. That's the dude you want to play. He only played 9 minutes in the game, but did log 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. But the biggest thing for him, it's the energy. It's the putbacks. It's everything that he gives. That's what you want. Like, he's going to have freshman mistakes, and he's going to be that guy that, this is a tough one. He got beat here. He did this. You'll have some of those setbacks here and there, but he offered a ton of energy today that K-State needed. Day-Day Ames charted the most time of the 3 freshmen. He had 20 minutes. Michaela Rich had 9. We didn't see R.J. Jones in this game, which I think people were kind of interested when we saw Dorian Finister come off the bench. I think we're at a point where Jerome Tang is really exploring this lineup. Like, who needs to come into the game? Who's ready to go? This person's ready. This person's ready. I think we'll see that dependent on what the game flow calls for. I mean, obviously, it's kind of a lame thing just to say, well, it'll depend. But you think about it. Michaela Rich comes in when you need physicality. You need somebody that can match up size for size against a talented big. Go to Michaela Rich. You just need a spark plug, need somebody to bring excitement, go to Michaela Rich. R.J. Jones seems to fit a specific need for K-State, and unfortunately for R.J. in this one, it wasn't needed as much. Like, the guard play was fine. We didn't need necessarily a change of pace for this, But with Day out there and McCaleb Rich out there, the freshmen are still getting some representation. I'm not saying that we won't see RJ as much as the other guys. It's just game-to-game basis. Like, Day clearly has carved out enough of a role right now. But it'll be interesting to see how that happens when Quez Glover returns. Quez is set to return for Chicago State on the 2nd, and I'm interested to see how they handle playtime. I think it'll be a little bit gray there for a second. But you got to see this, guys. At the end of the day, you got to see a little bit more of Buddy Rich. In 9 minutes, you're getting 6 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist. It's less than a fourth of the game, and he's still putting up those kind of stats. That is production that you can't really replace. I mean, McCaleb Rich is a dude that should see the court a little bit more. I'm not going to be the vocal drum that's banging the drum for, like, he's got to be a starter right now. He's got to be this guy right now. I want to see the kid continue to grow, but I think getting him on the court is important, especially after missing those previous 2 games. Getting him back out there in back-to-back contests, playing a chunk of that, like, he can be a difference maker for K-State. He provides a mismatch for everybody. Offensively, defensively, like, there was a moment in this game where McCaleb Rich was matched up with the Wichita State guy. Can't tell you his name, I apologize. Backing down McCaleb Rich, and instead of, kind of moving backwards with that to the post, back to the basket, McCaleb stood there. Buddy Rich just stood there and, took it. The dude was strong enough to push the guy back and not give up any space, surrender any space in the lane. McCaleb Rich, I think it caught the guy off guard. He kind of turned around and was like, dang, dude. He had a little look and it was just like, geez, dude. And McCaleb Rich ran down the court and, did his thing. But it's exciting to see him get in the rotation, and I can't wait to see him play more. We should see a lot of the 3 freshmen against Chicago State. Now, I'm not saying that's, an easy game, a hard game, whatever. People will win and people will lose on any basis. Chicago State upset. I can't remember the upset, but it's somebody decent, like Creighton maybe, or somebody in that front. One of those Big East teams. I feel like Chicago State has beaten. Maybe it's Michigan State. It was somebody like that. But it's not going to be easy no matter what, especially with this team kind of, they have struggle moments, but this was a good building block. That's the thing I want to say here. The biggest takeaway from this game, it's a good building block. I mean, this isn't a win that, you don't go home saying, wow, this dude's so good. This guy's so good. We had this happen, this happened, this happened. There wasn't really any of that. It was just kind of like, this is a comfortable win over a team that many thought you would struggle with, and you did struggle with in the first half. It was good to see K-State take care of business, especially after the Nebraska game where you go into halftime with the lead up 4 points, and then you just get run off the court in the second half. Them not settling in and kind of, accepting that. Obviously, they wouldn't accept that either way, but it's interesting to see how they bounce back, just how energetic they came out of the second half. You'd love to see it for full game. You'd love to see it for, both halves, but you got to at least take that as a good lesson. And I think the main message for K-State basketball this season is if we can continue to learn without losing, if we can continue to have good, positive things like, okay, I can draw from this. I made this mistake. We got to draw from this. We got to go from this, going forward. If you can learn those moments where it's like, it's kind of a bonehead thing. I should have just done this. Learn that in a win versus a loss feels 10 times better. Absolutely. Keeps team morale up, keeps guys on the right track, and they feel like they're improving. I think that's something that K-State's going to, have to kind of sit into with Big 12 play setting up. They got to find a way to get cheap, free lessons. Don't make it you don't have to drop a game to West Virginia to learn a lesson. You don't want to see that stuff. But it'll be interesting to see what happens next for K-State. I think the lineup is going to change a lot with Quez Glover, and we'll see what his minutes are like. I'm sure it'll be limited the first game or so, but man, the pregame videos of him out there on the court, he looks pretty good. He looks like he's getting healthy. The knee looks better than it did when he started off the season, so I'm interested to see how that rotation changes up. But you can't really take Day Ames off the court the way he's managing the game and has that ability to really spark the offense and get things firing on the right front. You can't really keep Buddy Rich off the court right now just because of how much of a problem he poses to everybody in the country. RJ Jones, you've seen the last couple of weeks, you can get away with not having RJ all the time. I'm not saying RJ's not good. I'm not saying that's not, RJ's a dog. His time's coming. But it is a crowded room right now in the guard position, so you don't have as much of a need. Day obviously just carved his own role because he's doing things exceptionally well for his young age. McCaleb Rich fits a role for K-State that you need. Getting Quez Glover back is going to complicate that a little bit more for Day, so I'll be interested to see how that happens. But it'll be something to watch. We'll all tune in and watch along. Quick little 60-second thing here before we do get out. First thing, fans, dude. Fans balled out. 18,660 fans in attendance. That's the most ever at a Wildcat Classic game. That's huge, guys. That is a big deal. I was stoked to be there. It was a really fun environment. It felt like, it's a home game. It is away from home, but it is a home game. But a 90-10 split, maybe 95% split. We didn't see any Wichita fans walking around. It was all purple. It was all lavender. It was everything, everything K-State, which is a really cool thing to see. So I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. I was glad to get out there and support. But you also saw a big pop from the crowd when David Castillo was on screen. That's cool. And that's a cool thing. I'm not saying David Castillo has to go to every game or whatever, but that was a big pop from the room, and I'm stoked to see him get on the basketball court this season as a senior, as well as come join K-State here in the near future. But it'll be a good thing to see the guys develop and continue to see that energy. A lot of stars in attendance tonight. I mean, you had a lot of K-State people. Felix, Enudike Uzama, as well as Echo Boydo both showed up in the Kansas City area as they're members of the Chiefs right now. It was just cool to be there, cool to be a part of it, and I'm excited to see how this team continues to move on from this. But I should get out of here, guys. I'm kind of running low on the energy department and the voice department, so I appreciate each and every one of you guys watching and subscribing to the channel. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. I will talk to you here before New Year's, but I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and have many, many more Cats wins ahead, as well as ice cold Tang parties from Manhattan Brewing Company. Have a wonderful rest of your day and go Cats.